Well, here I am. As you can see, I've done a load of filling. This is the first coat of grey primer, which most of this is going to get rubbed away. I'm going to show you some still photographs now which I've taken, which show some of the little micro blemishes that are still there. So I need to rub this back till all of those disappear, and I know I have a truly flat matte surface. At the moment I started off with 40 weight or grade, this stuff here, bleak, then I went on to 80, and now I'm on this is 240. Yeah, 240. So this ultimately will end up going down to 1200 or 1600. I have a set of fine wet and dry paper, and little by little this will be an utterly smooth matte surface. Then of course I'll put the black paint on, then I'll mask it up for the pinstriping, and then when that's all done and that's rubbed down, then I will put a couple of coats of clear lacquer on it. All of this will be this 2-pack stuff, which gives a great robust and shiny finish. I'm not going to bore you with this rather tiresome process of me just gently rubbing. I put a few little ink biro marks around areas which I'm a little bit suspicious of, and I'm just going to rub all these down. And the great advantage of these this 2-pack paint is that you can use it, mix it up and use it, but you've got a couple of hours before all the chemical curing takes place in the aerosol can itself. So it's quite possible to just let this paint rub off or dry off, and then it can be rubbed down ever so gently and another coat used up, rather than have to dump the entire contents of the aerosol on the surface in one go. Although you can do that, that's what I did with this. I just dumped a load of high fill primer, and now I'm just pushing it all back to make sure that I'm pretty well down to a completely smooth surface. And that's enough of that. I'm going to spare you all the rest. I'll dry my hands off, and well, this is my paint shaking process. As you can see, it's the tin of paint, aerosol, mounted in the lathe, and it will simply rotate there slowly for a couple of hours while I'm engaged in rubbing down. And then before I use it, I'll put it in I'll soak it in some warm water. That'll raise the temperature of the paint ever so slightly. Not an issue in this paint, I think, because it chemically hardens, but it also raises the pressure up in it in the aerosol, so that there's enough gas pressure to actually drive the paint out, because it's quite cold here. I'm just about to do a little bit more painting. This has been soaking in warm water. It's been well shaken up. So what you do is you take the end off it. In this is a little steel ring, and then you thread this ring onto the little plunger, and then you pull it, twist it, break up all the container, and then you just take it. Right, the air temperature is currently 10 degrees. This has been sitting on a heater inside, so it's nominally warm to the touch. The paint can is warm to the touch, and I've been shaking it till I'm blue in the face, so that's enough shaking. Question of now setting this thing to low, and just getting on with it really. Oh, I've got my red handle, stand by. Right. Right, that's enough of that. Plenty of paint left in the can. This will probably stay fluid for 3 or 4 hours, and then this thing will be touch dry in about a quarter of an hour, and then a couple of hours after that I can just touch it ever so gently and get another coat on if necessary before this stuff all sets. It will set in the can inevitably because of this chemical hardener, but it's pretty damn slick having 2-pack in an aerosol. Initially rubbed down with 40 grit, then 80 grit, then 240 or thereabouts, then 400, 600, and the last rubbing down was done with 1,000. And now it's ready for the first of the black coats. Again, I pulled a little pin on this liberator, the hardener, and I've set this to lean or minus on the aerosol. On the nozzle, and let's just see what happens. Right, I'm going to stop this video now. It's a bit boring looking at paint drying. So all of this black paint now has got to be rubbed down with very fine paper, and then the next stage, which to my mind is one of the most technical and most interesting elements, which is mapping out the pinstriping to make this thing look respectable. And that might be something that you guys will find of interest. Certainly the way I do it, it enables you to get great symmetry between one side of the tank and the other. Of course you can only look at one side at a time, but to get the ratios right and get the slope and so on, it's very important, otherwise the tank doesn't look significant in any way. So let's leave it like that. I'll load this video up and I'll do another one just as soon as I get this prepared for the next stage. Thank you very much for watching.